Hi guys, I'm Dennis. You're watching Canoehound Adventures. On today's episode, we are going to take you on a 4-day solo canoe trip. Mollie and I are up here at Tilden Lake, which is just south of Temagami, and we are going to be heading up to Bear Lake, then over to Poplar Lake, and into North and South Spruce Lakes. It's a trip that I've done before, but it's been many years since I've done it, so we'll see how things may have changed over the years. But in the meantime, we're going to take you on a journey that's going to be a lot of paddling, a few portages, and hopefully some really good times. So thanks for tuning in, and hope you enjoy the ride.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so we just launched, and as I mentioned, we are on Tilden Lake. Tilden Lake is a long lake that runs kind of along Highway 11. Just below Temagami, just below Martin River or Martin Lake, if you're familiar with that area. This lake is a lake that's pretty full of cottages, but once we get past our first portage into Bear Lake, going to be very little cottages, or at least from what I remember. You know, I left home last night at this morning at about 3:30 a.m. and the temperature was 16 degrees Celsius, which is fairly warm, right? We get up here and the temperature in the truck was reading 6 degrees Celsius. So today's going to be an overcast day. We're supposed to have intermittent rain showers, high of 13, and the way it's feeling right now, I don't know if that'll even happen. And a low of 3 tonight. So it's going to be a chilly evening. But the next couple days, they say they're promising some nice sunshine and some warmer temperatures. So let's see what that holds. All right, it's starting to get a little bit dicey out here now. We going across an opening here on the lake where the northern arm branches off. And the winds have really picked up and it's starting to crest a bit. I don't know if you can see behind me, but there's the waves are starting to crest a little there, a little bit of white capping going on. But I should only have about another 10 minutes before I'm into a sheltered area. I'm just gonna give her and get through this. Okay, so we're almost across Tilden Lake here. Can't see much behind me, but we're coming up on the waterway, or I guess you can call it the Bear River. It's where Bear Lake drains into Tilden Lake, and this is probably one of the more scenic, pretty parts of Tilden Lake, given the fact that there's all kinds of cottages here. But there's all kinds of dead tree stumps and roots and stuff that stick up out of the water here. It's very shallow, and there's a route that goes through that power boats can actually get through to get up to the falls to do some fishing. And there's also a cottage up there at the portage too. I guess I should mention that. But very scenic through here. Very, very nice area. And it's kind of nice now. I'm kind of sheltered away from the wind. I got through the white caps that were starting to form. And fully confident here in the Swift Pack Prospector 14-footer. She can handle quite a bit. So these are the Tilden Lake Rapids, according to the street sign here. So here we are, we just arrived at the first portage. I don't know if I mentioned, there's not very many portages on this trip, but it all depends. When we get up to Poplar Lake, there's 2 different routes I could take into South Spruce. I haven't decided which one I'm going to take yet. Either the one with the long portage or the one with some river travel and a portage at the end that's fairly non-existent. So I have to do some bushwhacking, but we'll see what happens. But take a look around here. Beautiful area. Over there is where the falls is. You see that in the background there, over there. And just a nice big bay. And right at the portage here, there is actually a cottage here. You can see that in behind me there. So very nice area. Let's get this portage done, get all our gear over to Bear Lake, and set out again. Alrighty, here we go. Get that canoe over, and then we get ourselves back on the water. Because I've only got 2 portages on this trip, maybe 3, we'll see. But it doesn't matter if I do double carries. I'm in absolutely no hurry today. Just gonna take my time because I've been driving all night, and we'll see how far we get. If I get all the way into my destination, then I can do a lot of exploring. If I break it into 2 days of paddling, then there won't be as much exploring, but the exploration will be just part of the trip. Welcome to Bear Lake. So we are now on Bear Lake, and the heavens have opened up. So if you find the video quality is a little shoddy, it's because I switched cameras out. I don't want to get my new DSLR all wet. So even though people say they're tougher than you think, still didn't want to take that chance. So I got the old Canon out, the old point and shoot, and we'll see what we can get with this here. But let's see how far we can get here without while we're dodging the raindrops. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. So we've reached the end of Bear Lake, and this here is the opening of the Poplar River. It's got a little sandbar that comes out around the corner here. And we got to duck around this, and that'll put us into the Poplar River. Well guys, here we are. We're on Poplar Lake, and I stopped at a campsite that I knew of. It's called Camp Island. It's a place where locals come and do a little bit of camping, and you can tell just by looking around at the place that it's pretty well used. There's all kinds of garbage and tote boxes and jars and bottles and cans and everything all left around, but what are you gonna do, right? That's people. But we've had a relentless headwind. I don't know if you could still see or hear the wind blowing, but just looking out there at the water, I don't know if you can make that out. But yeah, it's been a steady headwind. The temperature's dropped right down. I bet you it's probably no warmer than 5 or 6 degrees Celsius, and Mollie and I just stopped to stretch our legs, have a bit of lunch, and we're going to keep moving on. As soon as we warm up a little bit here, don't want any hypothermia setting in or anything. It's actually cold enough for that, and yeah, but what are you going to do, right? So yeah, I'll get a couple nice shots of the lake here from the island, because the scenery here is quite beautiful. So we come in from that direction down there. and come in. It's a beautiful scenery. Too bad the sky's not all blue, because this lake is just littered with islands at this end, and being called, this one here being called Camp Island. And we're going to head down that direction down there. That should take us to the portage. I don't think we're going to take the riverway. We'll maybe come back that way. But check out the scenery here. So I just noticed this. There's a clothesline set up here, made of paracord. But look at that tree. The tree has fallen over, and it's actually being held up. Being held up by that paracord. Quite literally. So I think I'm going to fix this, because if that falls on somebody's head, it's gonna end up being a little bit of a dangerous thing here. Sit. Sit. Stay. Not a problem anymore. But that could have very well, like I say, come down on top of somebody. Talk about your widowmaker. And it'll end up being some nice firewood for the next people that come camp here. So we finally have a little break with the rain. So I thought I'd get a little recap going here. I'm currently on Poplar Lake. I got the wind at my back finally. Well, semi at an angle. It's going this way. And it's helping get me across Poplar Lake. Certainly a lot warmer paddling than it is just standing on the island. But I want to get myself at least to South Spruce and get camp set up there, and we'll use that as a base camp that I can actually get out and do a little exploring over the next couple of days, do some fishing and stuff like that. But yeah, nice to have the rain finally stop for a few minutes anyways. I'm just looking for the portage now. That'll take us into South Spruce. Sure nice. It's been about 20 minutes, half hour or so without rain. But it's still cold. Boy, oh boy, it's cold. So much for for the summer weather, right? We had a heat wave back home a few days ago where you could barely go outside, and now we're like probably a couple degrees off of a snowstorm. So I'm not complaining though. Take what I'm given. There we are at long last. Finally made it to South Spruce. Now we just need to find a campsite. I just checked out one that I had camped on previous years and years ago, which it was never ever a good site. So now we gotta see. But funny thing is, since the last time I was here, like I say, which was many years ago, I see a cottage has popped up over there. That never used to be there, and the same thing over on Poplar Lake. There was a cottage that popped up there. Not sure how they get in. They must have a trail that comes in or something. But so we'll see what we can find for a campsite now, because we're about done for the day. Okay, so here we are. Found ourselves a little campsite. It's going to take some work, but we can do that. Not a problem. Just got to find a place with a hammock and the bug-free zone. You can see there's already a fire pit here and a fish cleaning table over there made out of rocks. All kinds of firewood. Not going to have to worry about that. And I just got to go back in here and clear a couple of dead trees that'll allow me to be able to hang my hammock. Well guys, got the camp, got it mostly set up for the most part. We got our the hammock set up. You can maybe see it behind me here in the bush. And I just got a fire going here so I can get some supper in me, because after this long day I am starved. So on the agenda tonight I got rehydrated spaghetti. I'm so tired I can't even talk. Mollie's already had her supper. Just gonna enjoy a bit of fire here, and as soon as the mosquitoes start to slaughter us, we're gonna be retiring for the night. We've been up all night driving and everything to get here, so it's been a good day. You know, it was cold, it was wet, headwind the whole way. But what are you gonna do, right? That's part of canoeing, and that's part of the adventure. So I'm not going to be recording anymore tonight, just because I'm going to eat, clean things up here a bit, and get ready to turn in. So we'll catch you in the morning. Well, good morning. Here we are, day 2. And what a difference a day makes. Holy cow. It is absolutely beautiful out here right now. We've got still got a northern breeze coming in, a little cool. But the sky is blue, the sun is shining. And I got a feeling it's going to warm up. Look at that. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. kinds of soot on the bottom of the pot from cooking on the fire. Anyways, so got a nice fine breakfast going here. It's a nice oatmeal that I prepare at home. This particular one, I got 3 different styles of oatmeal for the week. I'll fill you in each day as I'm eating them. But this one here is my fruit medley. I've got dried apples and cinnamon in there, brown sugar, dehydrated strawberries, dehydrated blueberries, and dehydrated banana. So it's going to be a nice flavorful oatmeal. Got the coffee going, you see me pour that. And yeah, this is fine. Just going to let the fire probably die down now. Don't need the fire throughout the day unless I'm preparing lunch or something. But it's a little breezy. I might get out in the canoe in a little bit there and just travel around the island here and maybe do a little exploring. If the weather calms down, maybe I'll get out and do a little more exploring on the lake. I know either today or tomorrow I want to head up to North Spruce Lake and I want to paddle it just to check it out. I've been up here many times, maybe 4, 5, 6 times, and I've only ever touched onto North Spruce once, and I didn't even go very far in because it was late in the day. Don't know why, it just hasn't come to that. So yeah. Also, very fortunate, found this here campsite. This campsite I didn't know existed, and actually it looks like somebody fairly recently tried to start getting this one going, because there's still a lot of work to be done to it, but I'll leave this campsite looking better than I found it. There we go, on the board, nice little Mollie. Gonna let him go because they're out of season right now. Beauty, on the board. So the wind's pretty strong today, and as you can see, did a little fishing, but Mollie and I are gonna walk around a bit here and explore this island that we're on. It's a fairly big island. And just found a spot that might be a nice little fishing spot here. Nice big rock. Get a shot of this for you. Nice little area here to do a little bit of fishing. I've always liked the look of uprooted trees. It just looks so artistic. Mollie just scared away a big pike. She went into the water. Alright guys, so like I say, it's a little windy. I don't know if you can hear it here in the microphone or not, but got a pretty good chop and some whitecaps flowing across this lake. Later on I might get out and around the back side of the island, because when Mollie and I took our little hike there, we seen that it's a little calmer back there because it's protected from the wind. It's just a matter of getting there. But in the meantime, I've been really fortunate here so far that the mosquitoes haven't been bad, nor the black flies, and it's due to yesterday, cold weather. Mind you, when we were on the portages in the bush, it got pretty hectic there with the flies and stuff and the mosquitoes. And over here, because we've got this wind, it's just knocking them right down. So, because I can't get out and paddle anywhere right now, what I'm going to do is I purchased one of these Eureka bug-free zones, the 13-footer. I had that one area behind me here that was all full of brush. I cleared it all up, and basically I'm going to set this up here. So let's see how we make out anyways. Well, I'm back again. My attempt at setting up the Eureka bug-free zone was a failed attempt. For one person and the winds that we have right now, it's kind of impossible to set this thing up. The stakes wouldn't hold, the thing just turned into a giant parachute. So I took it down, threw it back in the bag, and if things calm down later and the mosquitoes start to get bad, I'll make another attempt to set it back up. But, oh man, now I'm ready for lunch. So did I ever say that I really hate the wind gods? First off, take a look behind me here. You can see the roughness of the lake. But I'm just getting ready to prepare some lunch for Mollie and I. Got my plate out, and this happened. Yes, the wind picked up my plate and threw it right into the water. So now I gotta go fishing with my net. Ta-da! Well guys, something I brought with me. I had this old canoe paddle that I wanted to use as a backup for my pack boat, and it's pretty rough. Take a look at it. It's dried out and stuff like that, and it's got all the lacquer finish on it. Brought some sandpaper with me. I'm just going to work on this slowly and try and get it to be see if I can get it to be a nice paddle. I got nothing better to do today because I'm kind of windbound and looking for things to do. So I'm going to get busy sanding. It's getting near supper time, and tonight doing steak on the fire. But because I can't find hardwood, I did happen to find a nice flat rock here, and I built it up underneath a little bit. And what I'm going to do is, as you can see, I've got the flames underneath and behind, and it's going to heat that rock up, and I'm going to cook my steak right on the rock. In the meantime, I got pot of chaga tea going, and I also put a bag of vanilla tea in there as well to change the flavor up a little bit. So going to be a delightful dinner with that tonight. Going to have a little bit of home fries as well. All right, all you Meat lovers out there, this is where you get envious. Got my own nice cut of New York strip. Saved this one for this trip. If you could read that. Dennis's canoe trip. Hands off. There we have it. So as I mentioned, this here is going to go right onto the hot stone and cook up. My hash browns are almost ready. And then we'll be eating soon. All right, folks, time to plate this up. The steak is quite still pink on the inside. I just cut it in half. So I'm going to get my hash browns first. There we have it. My favorite meal when I'm camping. You can have the freeze-dried, you can have the dehydrated. I want my steak and potatoes. Here, Mollie. Mollie got to get her share too. Again. Well, that was a good dinner, very good dinner. Both me and Mollie are full. Well, I am anyways, never know about her. Just gonna chill now, have some chaga tea. Chaga and vanilla tea. So, while I was eating dinner, I mentioned earlier that I really hate the wind gods, right? They really wreak havoc on a trip sometimes. The wind blew over my camera, first time my camera's been on its side, and the hood lens, the thing that covers the lens there to stop sunlight from coming in, popped off, and I can't find it. So I'd imagine it probably ended up in the water and sunk to the bottom, and I'm having a hard time seeing there because over there it's getting a little darker. So I'll check tomorrow morning, see if I can find it. If not, well, I didn't really like it anyways because it gives little dark corners in the corners of the screen, like over here and over there and over there and over there. So we'll just make sure that the next one I get won't do that.
The day I was born, the nurses gathered round. They gazed at the wide window at the joy they had found. Head nurse spoke up, said, "Leave this one alone." I could tell right away I was bad to the bone. Bad. 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 Bad to the bone.
Well, everybody, not a bad day despite all the wind, but Molly and I have decided to turn in here. It's probably around 9 o'clock. The mosquitoes are starting to swarm out there now that the wind has stopped blowing around, and yeah, made for a long day, all that wind, that's for sure. Anyways, Molly's here all tucked in, eh? And we'll catch y'all in the morning.